Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EFRL East to West Apparel Company's Arca series. We are live from the Glen here on this beautiful Monday night. We got 18 cars looking to start this one off here in just a minute. Some beautiful looking cars. Tonight's race will be just a little bit different, as we will not have full course cautions unless the track is completely plugged up. So we will just have localized cautions. So we have 35 laps of uninterrupted racing live from Watkins Glen. These cars turn right? Who knew? Not this guy. I'm not a fan of turning right. But these guys are trained professionals, and Lee Krause, certainly sitting on top of the leaderboard, can tell you all about that. Fastest time at a 1 minute 13 seconds. We got Reese in second place, just 1/10 off the speed. Dunford in third, and Brad Stefan in fourth. The other Dunford is in fifth, Dustin Buck in sixth. These guys are looking to make some last-minute adjustments before we get close to our qualifying run. Qualifying tonight is set for 10 minutes just because the track is so long. I do believe as soon as everybody is qualified, we will jump to the main event here tonight. So look for some exciting action all around this track. These cars are going to get pretty spread out since there are no full course cautions. Sometimes the name of the game in this one is just to make it to the end. In the past, when we ran Arca and I was a driver in that series, my goal here was to just finish the race because I was not good at road course racing and I knew that. So if I could make it to the end, I would gain spots just from cars falling out. You can see from this beautiful aerial shot how large this track really is. Let's look at some information real quick on this just to see how long of a track it is. 2.42 miles. Just slightly smaller than Talladega. To put that in perspective, this track is huge. Our first car out on the field is Brandon Dunsford in that number 19 machine. 78 degrees air temperature, track temperature, a blistering 104 tonight. That could chew up some tires. Let's look at our information for the race itself. 60% fuel, 3 tire changes, so they can change tires 3 times. That means they have 4 sets total, the ones that they start the race with. You can see here as Dunford is burning through those gears, trying to get up to speed on his outlap. Beautiful looking number 19 car, obviously a Martin Truex Jr. fan. And for those NASCAR racers that are fans, with the race being yesterday, what a crazy race. A big, long rain delay. Was Ryan Preece in the number 60 car doing a full wheelie for, geez, it seemed like eternity, dragging that right rear down the track. Holy cow, I'm glad nobody got hurt. That was an amazing finish to that race. I am glad to see Willie B in the old Jeff Gordon number 24 pulling down 2 in a row. Only one of 5 drivers to ever do that in NASCAR history. That's quite a feat for him and a good start to his season. And another honorable mention yesterday was the number 40 car, Dale Jr. Motorsports' first foray into the NASCAR Racing Cup Series world, coming home with a top 10 finish. Congratulations to them. And Justin Allgaier in that number 40 machine. Congratulations, driver. And look at the way that number 19 slings that thing through the bus stop. What a... Whew, he's in there hard. He's trying to set down a blistering time, and we're here for it. And there's something about the color combination on that car. It is just a classic look. Tracker boats. Looks like that car might have been painted up by Michael Steele Designs. I see Michael Steele's logo on there. Great job on that car. Okay, so far Lee Krause set down a 114. Dunford in the 19 machine. A 10.5 off. We'll be able to... Ooh, geez, words are very hard for me tonight. Woo, buddy. This is going to be a fun race. We'll see if he's able to improve upon that at all in his second lap. This is one of those races where some drivers will just opt to not qualify. And we have heard from the drivers of the 17 machine that Mr. Jackson Qualley might not be able to make the whole event. He's going to start this one, but is not feeling well. May have to pull off and start and park this race just to get the points. So we'll see how he's feeling and how many laps he's going to be able to run this one so far tonight. Devin Smith in the 95 machine is going to jump up to third place. Brad Steffen fourth. Alan Wernicke in fifth. Quite a bit off the time they were running in practice. We were a lot closer. We'll see if they're able to improve on their second laps. Matt Moreau jumps up to seventh. Jackson Qualley ninth. Dunford jumps to the top of the leaderboard with a 113.81. Lee Krause finishing his second lap. We'll see what he's got. So far he's at a 113.86. Dustin Buck jumps up to third with a 114.40. Dylan Dunford gonna jump up with a 114.46. Very close times now. Devin Smith answers with a 114.61. Our top 5 cars pretty close on times. We'll see what these boys are able to do, see what they're going to be able to accomplish with tire wear factored in. This is a very long pit road, and you're going to be pitting under green flag conditions. You will go down a lap, even though these laps are, well, as you see, a minute and a half long. Oh, pardon me, just refreshing a little bit with an ice cold Dr. Pepper. It's a Monday night, we're keeping it clean. Let's see here. Is there anybody still out on the track, ladies and gentlemen? Let's find out. Looks like that 22 of Joshua Fox is still out on the speedway. Fox so far is sitting in ninth with a 141 off the pace. His current fastest lap is a 1 minute 15 seconds .23. Looks like he's driving a Volkswagen Jetta. Not our typical Arca cars, but I'm here for it. Fox is going to jump up to P number 6 with a 114.69 on his second lap. And that looks like everybody that wants to take a lap has taken a lap. Drivers who have opted out of qualifying so far: Matthew Chandler, Roy Hyde, who I do believe is in second place in our points, possibly third, James Budd, and Joshua Reese. Joshua Reese kind of shocks me. He was fastest in practice, not opting to put down a lap time. That's an interesting choice for Mr. Reese. And speaking of points, why don't we check those out real quick here before we get to our green flag racing action. That's if I can find them quickly. Point standings, here we go. Point standings prepared by Dean Qualley every week. Current point standings are Dustin Buck with 231 in the lead, Alan Wernicke in second with 216. Ron Hyde has fallen back to third place with a 214 points. Brad Steffen is in fourth place with 206. Josh Fox is in 5th place with 201. Dan Park is in 6th with a 195. I don't see Dan Park on our leaderboard for this evening as well. Looks like he might be opting to take last place points. Alright, Devin Smith is in 7th with 194, only 1 point behind Dan. Travis Lepenis in 8th at 189. Watch him, he is well versed on road courses. Dylan Dunford at a 181. Jackson Qualley with 172. Tom Queering with a 164. Ray Andrews in 12th with 151. Derek Regal with a 150. Sean Patrick at a 146. Matt Moreau with a 145, only 1 point out. Then we got Josh Reese, Lee Kraus, Tim Rurik, Kyle Lingerfelt, James Budd, Brad Nelson, Matthew Chandler, and Justin Waldring in the last place at 25th. Justin is only a part-time driver in this series, but he is holding strong. On the races he's able to make, he's always a competitor. All right. If you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, please give a like, a share, a follow, a subscribe, whatever you can do. Helps get the name of the channel out there, helps support your local drivers. Also, in our links for the show, we have our Rusty Misfits Racing League group on Facebook. We have our merch store. We got some new shirts up there. FALCONGRAFIX Designs, we got a link to them, one of our main sponsors here on the Rusty Misfits Racing League and in All the Dirt. We also have a link to Foster's Custom Rods and something that's pardon me, got a little choked up, but it wasn't on purpose. Something that's near and dear to my heart. My buddy Donnie Bartlett is fighting cancer right now, so we have a link to his GoFundMe page. Any donations will help him with his battle to fight cancer. Donnie, you're always in our prayers and in our hearts, and we hope to see you back on the track soon, buddy. Get well. Alright, with that being said, we're going to get back to racing. These gentlemen are gridding up, and they are ready to show us that they can turn right as well as left. Oh, I love that number 1 car with the McDonald's paint scheme on that. That is absolutely stunning. Alright, let's go over our starting grid, shall we? On the front row, in that number 19 machine, we got Brandon Dunford. Outside of him, the number 99 of Mr. Lee Kraus. Row number 2, we got Dustin Buck and Dylan Dunford. Row number 3, we got Mr. Devin Smith and Joshua Fox right outside of him. Brad Stefan in that number 89 machine. Travis Lepenis on the outside of him. In row number 5, we got Mr. Alan Wernicke in that highlighter color number 72. That one's easy to spot on the track no matter where you're at. Jackson Qualley in that number 17 machine. Row number 6, we got Mr. Matt Moreau. Outside of Matt, going into turn number 1, is going to be that 89 machine of Derek Regal. Alright, let's update our grid real quick. And in row number 7, we got Tom Queering and Ray Andrews. In row number 8, we got Mr. Roy Hyde and Joshua Reese. And shotgun on the field last row, we got Mr. James Budd and Matthew Chandler. 18 car field tonight at this very long 2.4 mile track. These guys are getting ready to get it done. We got the Porsche pace car here with us tonight. Beautiful field of cars. Got a little blinky action by the 94 of Dunford. We better bring our map up, otherwise we're not going to know what's going on. Going through, I do believe, what they call the bus stop. Oh, that pace car winging it way out there on that exit of turn. Dean Qualley might be driving that one. We may have to give him a little breathalyzer, see if he's still sober. Alright, they have a left-hander followed by a right-hander, and then we're going to go green flag racing. This series goes on green, and then it's going to be a crapshoot headed into turn number 1. You want to get in there deep enough to not get run over by the guy behind you, but you also don't want to get in there too deep where you overshoot the corner. Dunford and Kraus going to lead us to green. Dustin Buck, Dylan Dunford right behind him. Kraus on the outside of turn number 1. Alright, on the back bumper of Brandon Dunford in that number 19 machine. Up through the S's. Then we got that big long straightaway before you got to be hard on the brakes going into the bus stop. Looks like there might have been a little contact already. Devin Smith has went off track. Stefan went off track. But as I said, these are going to be green flag runs. See what happened here. Oh, not quite enough room going through the bus stop. So iRacing will tell you when you cut the course like that you have to let off and give the time back. Otherwise you will get black flagged, and that's exactly what we saw the 89 of Stefan do. Back up front, Dunford has got a good little cushion between him and the 99 of Kraus. Then we got a pretty tight race right now for third between Dylan Dunford and Dustin Buck. Little gap going back to the rest of the field here. One thing you will notice with these cars on a road course, they will get pretty stretched out. And that's just due to the road course configuration, and a lot of drivers are fast on oval tracks, but not maybe so good on oval courses. So this field will get pretty spread out. 35 laps. It's going to take off fairly quickly, especially since we don't have any cautions. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and if you are looking for a place to race, don't hesitate to check out Rusty Misfits Racing League. Currently we have racing 4 nights a week. Monday we have our East to West Apparel Company Arca series. On Tuesday night we have my own All the Dirt mini stock series. We run 2 races back to back. We run dirt and asphalt. On Wednesday nights we have the Smile Snacks Incorporated Street Stock series currently. Looking maybe to change that up for the next season. And then on Thursday nights, we got the Foster's Custom Rod Dirt Car Series. Got a little bit of excitement news coming in there, but once we get the details nailed down, we'll be announcing that. So yeah, if you're looking for a place to race, check out myself, or don't check out me. Get a hold of me, Mick Olofsson, or Dean Qualley on Facebook, or on any one of my any other social media apps, and I can get you hooked up with a Discord and a league invite. 3 laps in, Dunford holding on to a slim margin over that number 99 machine of Lee Kraus. Dustin Buck battling with Dunford over third place. looking to regain some points after last week. Led 90% of the race. Got caught speeding on pit road on a green flag pit stop, or on a caution flag pit stop, and ended up going to go all the way to the back of the pack. It cost him dearly. He had a bad finish last week. Cost him some points, but he's looking to regroup this week. Currently running fourth for Mr. Dustin Buck. How about we jump on board with one of our drivers here? Who should we go with? Let's check out Lee Krause. He's going through the bus stop right now. Got that 19 in his sights. Very easy on the throttle through that corner. Chasing that 19 down the straightaway. Hard on the brakes into a left-hander. Ooh, might have overshot that corner just a hair. Near him downshift. This is going to be the front straightaway as we're coming to the checkered, or the start zone. So far, our fastest lap has been by Brandon Dunford at a 1:14.13. Lee Krause right behind him with a 1:14.19. All it takes though is one bad corner for you to lose everything you've gained. Lee Krause just attacking that bus stop. He's definitely closing the gap on the 19. With a track like Watkins Glen, you do really have to pick and try to set up where you want your pass to take place, because you don't have a lot of spots where it's a good spot to pass. Whoa, Krause gets way loose, broke the back end loose. Coming down the front straightaway. Everything he has worked so hard and gained on that 19, he just lost in that one little instance. Jump back to the 89 of Brad Steffen. Currently running in 6th, right behind Josh Fox, just a little bit in front of Devin Smith. Oh, 22 of Fox goes way outside. Thanks everybody once again for joining in with us tonight. Seeing some sparks come off that 22 car. I wonder if he didn't do some damage to it. The 89 of Steffen is getting a run on him down the front straightaway going into turn number 1. Oh, it looks like Tom Clearing is running into some difficulties. He has jumped to the pits. Let's see what happened with Tom. Alright, here. Let's go here. Looks like he's already got some front end damage done to that machine. Oh, he has a lot of damage. He's hard on the brakes. Couldn't make the turn into the bus stop. Ray Andrews has crashed. Looks like he has jumped to the pits now as well. Travis Lapinus in that number 16 machine. Him and the buddies at JTD Motorsports do run quite a few road course endurance races throughout the year. So these guys know what it takes to win and turn right at the same time. Don't be sneezing on him. He's going to be, he'll be coming back in this one. Currently running that 9th spot, but he knows how to pace himself to be there at the end. Back up front, Lee Kraus tried to regain everything he lost a little while ago. Hunting down that Bass Pro Shops number 19 of Brandon Dunford. Dylan Dunford in the 94, solidly the top 3 so far this evening. Able to hold off and stretch his gap over Dustin Buck in that Buck Wild Racing Products. Number 68 painted up by FALCONGRAFIX. Brad Stefan currently in 5th. He's up 2 spots from where he started. You can see that splitter slam into the ground as they get hard on the brakes going into that turn number 1. Brandon Dunford so far led every lap, started on the pole. It hasn't been easy. He's been having a mirror full of that 99 machine since the green flags dropped. Lead did fall back a little bit after a bobble coming out of the final turn, but he has worked his way back right onto the back bumper of that number 19 machine. Interesting to see when and if these drivers pit. I tried talking to some of the drivers before the race to see what their pit strategy was, but unfortunately they were pretty tight-lipped. They didn't want to divulge any information, so we're not sure how many laps they can go. It'll be interesting to see when these guys pit and their pit strategy. Are they going to break this up into just one, or are they going to make it into multiple pit stops? And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the booth, Mr. Tom Quiring.
Hey Mick, how's it going?
I'm having a better night than you are, sir.
Yeah, that was not the way I wanted my race to go. I knew coming into tonight it was a difficult race. I'm not very good on these road courses, especially in stock cars, but I was hoping to make it more than 2 laps.
Whenever I've attempted a road course like this, is about as far as I can make it.
Well, it's definitely a driver style of race, especially with these cars. They're big, they're heavy, they're bulky. They do not want to turn, and that's basically all you're trying to make them do here is turn tight and hard.
That is very true. Have you been able to watch any of this battle up front between Dunford and Kraus?
I haven't been watching much of the front. I'm more towards the back there with the number 1 car at the moment, watching him battling it out with Wernicke.
Reese, let's go check out Reese. I have seen that James Budd has jumped up huge in this one so far too. Oh, I love the paint scheme on that number 1 car of Reese.
Yeah, I started right beside him, and I kind of made the comment in the opening warm-up lap there that is a pretty sexy-looking car.
I'm not sure how I feel about a Jetta, but you know, other than that, I like it.
Well, you know, you can't have everything perfect.
I see Mr. Hyde is up to 12th position. He's up 5 spots from where he started. He was one of the drivers that opted to not run a qualifying lap.
No, he started behind me, and yeah, he's definitely marching his way through the field. Like you said, up 5 positions so far. Looking to follow Joshua past Wernicke right now.
That was a nice, strong move by that number 1 machine.
But we don't, you know, like you're saying, there's a pretty good battle going on at the very front of this pack right now. Lee Kraus there in second, Brandon Dunford on the point. Kraus not looking or not letting that leader get too far away from him.
No, both these drivers have been pretty spot on. I did see Kraus get a little loose coming off the last turn, and he did lose 4 or 5 tenths, but he's caught right back up to him.
Yeah, going through the carousel right now, and he is on that back bumper. See if he can make anything happen here going into this.
Now, as a driver, for you, what would be a good place to try to set up your pass?
Right here, as they come off this final turn down the front straightaway, you got to get to that inside line. You got a big, hard braking zone coming up, going into turn 1 down to first gear. If you can get that inside line going into turn 1, you got a good shot going up the S's.
Yeah, I was talking just a little bit ago about how on this type of style of racing, you do have to set up your passing zone a lot of places in advance just to get there.
Oh, absolutely. You got to look at this almost like a Martinsville with left-hand, right-hand turns. You make the pass by setting it up off the previous corner, not just diving it into the next corner.
Well, maybe you can help me out. I tried to ask in practice, but nobody was willing to give me any information. How many laps can these guys go before they have to pit for fuel?
My fuel calculator was showing about 21 laps, so we should be able to make it just past the halfway point in this race before you have to stop. I mean, anyone stop for a short pit a little bit, try to gain some extra track position on fresher tires?
Okay. And that's going to be a green flag pit stop because we only have the localized cautions tonight. So a lot can happen on pit roads if you don't hit your marks just right.
Absolutely, and honestly, right now, if I'm that second place car there, if I'm Lee Kraus, I am not waiting until he goes into pit road.
You want to be the first one, huh?
I'm going to force him. I'm going to force that issue. I'm going to go to pit road a little bit early and make him watch that rear view mirror because you're going to take tires. 2 for sure, if not all 4. And fresh tires don't make a lot of a difference on these road course races, but they do make enough of a difference that, as close as these 2 are,
looking at that 99 machine, it looks like he does have some left front damage done to the bumper.
But that may be an issue for him. These cars are going fast enough down around this track. You know, Watkins Glen is known to be a very high-speed racetrack as far as road courses are concerned. Aerodynamics are going to be a factor, and yeah, you can see that the red truck is just ahead of the front wheel.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he got into the quarter panel of the 19 or if it just went off track a little bit too much.
Well, there are definitely a few places on this racetrack where that Armco barrier comes right up, and we're coming up to one of the main ones right now. Don't take much to brush that wall and cause yourself some damage.
That is true. All right, so the biggest news story, though, is did you watch the NASCAR race yesterday?
Oh, of course I watched the Daytona 500. How could I miss that?
One of the longest races in history because of the rain delay, but holy cow. Did you see that 60 doing a wheelie down the straightaway?
Well, I mean, at this point, I think Priest is just going for show-off points the way he races at Daytona.
That's what I'm thinking, and style points, he's got it nailed there.
Oh, for sure. That car was, I mean, like I said, he's no stranger to being airborne on the backstretch of Daytona, but he was doing something I did not know these cars could wheelie as far as he did.
No, that was very impressive.
But it just goes to show at those speeds how aero-dependent, how much that aerodynamic force is on play on these cars.
Lee Krause looking to make a move. Looks like he might actually lose a little bit of time there.
He swept a little bit wide coming out of the carousel there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, but coming into a fairly heavy braking zone right here. And they are getting into lap traffic now, which is going to slow that leader down a little bit.
Yes, it is. They're coming up on the 13 of Ray Andrews and the 81 of Matthew Chandler.
Ray's just trying to survive there. We were talking pre-race, and he's been doing a little bit of practice, but just not getting the feel for this car on this track. And you see him move way out into the runoff to let these leaders go by.
That 81 or the 19 got really loose.
But that's giving the advantage up the S's for that 99 car. Not able to get there. But he's going to look, trying to get that inside line for coming up to the bus stop. Rose definitely has had a little bit more momentum beginning into those S's, but wasn't quite able to hold it there. Dunford able to get back out and clear him. And now they're going to have to work on this 81 car going through the carousel.
Yeah, that's going to be the tricky part.
The 81 car, you just got to be absolutely predictable and make sure you watch that mirror to see when that leader makes that move, just as he did there. In fact, that sends that 81 way wide. I don't know if he was watching his mirror too much maybe there and missed his braking point. As we got the leader on pit road.
And he went before Krause. I'm kind of shocked.
Definitely playing a strategy move here. He knows he has the speed.
Following him in is the 68 of Dustin Buck.
And James Budd is on pit road as well. Got a couple of cars coming down for service. Why don't we see what Mr. Dunford's doing for service? He goes for 2 tires or 4.
He's going for 4.
Absolutely. With as much fuel as you got to put in, as long as it takes, I don't know if it's worth just waiting on 2.
Exactly. You're going to be there the same amount of time regardless, so you might as well put on all 4 fresh tires.
We're going to have to pay attention to how this cycles out, see if that 19 car managed to pull a decent enough pit stop to pull a gap on that 99 or not.
He definitely looked like he hit all of the marks. And he is back out, and he is currently showing in the 10th position.
Yeah, and looks like Krause is coming into pit road now. He had to make the stop now. He couldn't afford that 19 car running faster laps.
Nope, and then the other Dunford's going to follow him in.
Yeah, we got the Dillon in that Red Bull livery Toyota Camry behind him. Right now you got Dunford working on Warnicki for position. These cars ahead of him, though, they definitely have to make a pit stop. But you got to make sure if you're driving that 19 not to force an issue that doesn't need to be forced here and cause yourself to get to a wreck.
Yep, exactly. Krause down and away, a very quick stop for him.
Krause just leaving now. But that is going to open up a gap between him and that 19 car. Going to be a couple of seconds difference between the two of them now. Good strategy call on that 19 car. to open up that distance between him and what should be second when they
Ooh, nice.
getting all kinds of sideways there.
Yeah, he got real loose. Cold tires, too much power.
Cold tires, yeah, and that's the thing with these cars. There's no electronic devices to help you maintain traction. There's no electronic devices to make sure you don't lock the brakes up going into the corner. Those are both of your feet to make sure you don't do anything like that. Just a little over it.
Oh, we saw Warnicki get all kind of loose there too, end up in the grass a little bit.
Yeah, he missed the bus stop going through the last time by. Got Travis Lepanis going onto pit road. Ahead of Devin Smith, or just behind Devin Smith.
And Warnicki's coming in too.
As well.
Travis is one of those guys I talked about a little bit in the pre-race. He is one of our drivers is actually versed in road course racing. Him and his team run several events throughout the year for endurance races on road courses, so he knows what to do to get it done.
Yeah. You saw it looked like the 81 car missed his pit stall, had to back up quite a bit to get back into it. Brad Stefan now pulling out. Just, I think he was just ahead of Brandon Dunford, but not by a lot. Maybe not. I didn't see what car he pulled out ahead of. Stefan all out by himself. No one anywhere really close to him.
And here comes our last two drivers, Fox and Reese, now on pit road. So that will hand the lead back over to Dunford with Lee Krause right behind him. With a bit of a gap though, unfortunately.
A big gap, 2.3 seconds back. And that's what I was saying leading into this round of pit stops here, is that's exactly what Krause needed to do, is what Dunford did to him. He needed to be the first one on pit road. Krause working his way around Ray Andrews once again. Ray's car looking a little worse for wear. Seems he's found that wall a couple of times.
just a little sheetrock damage. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all cosmetic. At least he's able to continue.
Yeah, when I checked in on your car, you were missing the whole front bumper.
Front bumper, and I'm pretty sure there was a tie rod that was not connected after that accident, because I was holding the steering wheel 180 degrees to the left, just with triangle straight.
Holy cow.
I was actually surprised when I pulled into my pit stall and my crew chief told me I only had 39 seconds worth of required repairs and about 3 minutes of optional. Got the required and about half the optional done, went back on track, and I did not have the steering I needed to be safe out there, so I decided it was going to be a night for me. But
Lee Krause has taken some time off of that distance. He's down to about a second and a half. Is Dunford maybe just taking a little bit easy until Krause gets to him to save those tires?
Well, that's quite a possibility. You know, you don't need... The big thing is with these cars, you don't want to push any harder than you have to. And with that big of a gap, you have that ability to back down just a little bit, save a little bit of tire for the end of the race, for one, and backing off that little bit kind of reduces that chance of a mistake.
And being in Lee Krause's spot, he's got no choice but to give it everything he's got.
Oh, absolutely. Krause cannot back off. He's got to be running that car 110% every lap. And it's showing on the scoreboard. He is slowly reeling that leader in. Right now, they're about 1.4 seconds apart by my scoreboard anyway.
That's what I'm showing. Although in that last corner, he did gain a tenth and a half on him.
Yeah, he's definitely slowly reeling him in. But if that's a strategy that leader, that Brandon's playing, is to kind of play it easy, all he's got to do is let Lee wear his equipment out. Wear those tires out, and then once Lee catches up, turn it back up a little bit.
coming up on the 38 now of Matt Moreau.
Well, if we even go back to 5th place here, James Budd, he is showing on my leaderboard up 12 positions from the start. The hardest charger right now, running 5th.
Yeah, that number 8 car has been really strong from the get-go. I was kind of shocked that he did not qualify, along with like Reese. Reese was fastest in practice, but also chose not to qualify.
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 cars that decided not to for some reason. A lot of them were some of the faster guys on the leaderboard in fact. I don't know if they're trying for a self-achievement, you know, doing their own back to front or what they're doing, but personally, I would have rather been up front and try to avoid the carnage.
Yeah, definitely for sure. That would have been my option as well. So far, we do only have 2 cars out of this race, and that's yourself and then Jackson Foley, who was feeling a bit under the weather and didn't figure he would finish.
Yeah, I got a message from Dean as well saying that he was not feeling too well, decided to park the car and not chance anything. So, unfortunate for Jackson, that young fella, he has shown himself to be a very fast driver. Definitely taken a little bit of a time to learn these Arca cars over the mini stocks last season, but definitely showing some speed so far.
Oh yeah, I've been impressed by the way that kid can drive.
Well, I want to know what Dean and their secrets is for saving tires the way those two can. There's been times where they've been putting down lap times faster than the rest of the field and having like 10-20% more tire left at the end of a race than anyone else on that track. I don't know how they do that, but my God.
It's impressive. They definitely have a good strategy working for them. And they know what to do to make it there too.
Yeah, if you paid attention to the rookie mini stocks in season 4 there, this Jackson quality on the asphalt side just obliterated the competition and missed a couple of races and still won the championship.
Yes, he did, and handily.
Which, to miss a race and take the last points penalty for missing the race and still go out there and dominate the series and win the championship, you don't get that very often.
So, fun fact, the fastest lap now has been scored by Lee Krause at a 1:14.109, which he set on lap 23, just a lap and a half ago.
And he is back on that back bumper of that 19 car. If Dunford's been saving, now is the time to turn that wick back up.
He has to maintain focus and make sure he's hitting his marks too.
Well, it's definitely going to be a hard-fought battle here between these top two. They're way ahead of 3rd place. Dylan Dunford now up in 3rd, but 12, almost 13 seconds behind these guys.
That is pretty impressive in itself. I know one of the last times we ran a road course in the Rusty Misfits Racing League, the winner won by almost 45 seconds, and he was by himself. It was a crazy race.
No kidding, if they're that almost a full lap on a road course ahead.
And I do believe that was the only race that driver won all season.
But road course racing in an oval league is something that's definitely a different animal. And we are taking a car that is not designed to turn right and trying to force it to do so. As we look, Lee Krause looking to make a move in the bus stop. Thinks better of it though.
Yeah, he was thinking about sticking his nose up under there.
If he can get the run here and get the nose down, as to see the 81 getting out of their way.
Respectful driving by all guys all around, which is nice to see. They see the leaders coming and they just move out of the way. They don't want to impact the race at all.
Well, and there's a little give and take on that, because you know there may come a race where the situations are reversed, and you hope that the guy that you gave the route to remembers that and does the same for you.
Yep, exactly. Ooh, that 19 got loose on coming out of that last corner.
Carlos is there, but not quite close enough to take advantage of that mistake, though.
So with the laps winding down, oh, Lee Krause gets all kinds of sideways.
Ooh. That is not going to help him out. Going to open that gap up almost to a full second once again, but We know Kraus has a fast car. He's just got to take a couple of corners now, let those tires cool back down a little bit, get the traction back in them.
Take a deep breath, regain your composure, and then hit them again.
Hit your marks. And the one thing I've always enjoyed about watching, you know, NASCAR style stock cars on a road course is how aggressive these guys are on those curves. You know, you see them hitting that bus stop right there. The inside touching track, they're hitting those curves so aggressive.
Oh yeah, just bouncing that side right off of the pavement. Although, unfortunately, I think Lee might be driving a little too aggressively because he actually lost some time in those last couple corners.
Lost, but he's reeled back in just a little bit the last two turns anyways. Not enough to be back there, but you see the 19 a little squirrely under braking. That did allow Kraus to reel in almost 0.2 of a second.
And we are down to 8 laps to go. So now the question is, when Lee gets to his back bumper, do you give him the bumper?
These cars aren't stable enough on this track. You've got to be so careful if you're going to be that aggressive, because it's really easy to overdo and just turn that guy around on you.
Yeah, these guys are just throwing them in there.
Is a big thing, and you can kind of see it if you watch the front two running, that front bumper and that rear bumper, they don't line up. You end up going underneath that rear bumper.
Yeah, that's why these cars are so hard to draft with a bigger tracks where like you would normally do a bump draft. You cannot do that with these cars because of the way those bumpers line up. You will scoop that guy right up.
You just jack that rear axle off the ground and they end up spinning around because there's no traction anymore.
Well,
but Kraus is down to almost a half second.
Yeah, during that lap, he gained 0.3.
And right now, by the looks of it, that is the biggest battle on the track. It is for the lead. Everyone else all kind of spread out in single file.
Dunford's got to be getting a little bit nervous, but I think at this point he has to just ignore that mirror and focus on the track in front of him. And I think he's got it.
Yeah, just has to hit the marks. You know, if you hit your marks, run your line, it's onto that back car to make that move safely and execute the pass safely. You have the right as that lead car to your line.
Yep, exactly. And knowing these drivers the way we do, neither one of these guys are going to wreck each other for a win.
I've been very amazed at how respectful the racing's been so far this season in the Arca series. I haven't had the luck that I was hoping for, but you know, it's definitely been a very respectful series. There hasn't been any drama really to give you any talking points really, Nick.
No, we've had a great bunch of guys. I think we went, what did I see, was the 340 laps without a caution or something like that?
It was very close to that. It was about 2.5 races where we went green flag the entire way.
Has to be very frustrating for Lee Kraus at this point to see that car that close and just outside of his reach.
Just outside of the reach, and that gap is kind of stabilized at that 0.4 to half a second mark. He hasn't really been able to close in that much more since he got to that point.
We see him getting real aggressive there on entry into the bus stop.
Real deep on those brakes, but that brought him down to 0.2, but that's going to give the run off to that 19 car. Lee able to hold on. He was able to close in just a little bit to the bus stop.
They are catching up on that 13 car. See, there he lost it on the exit of that one.
And that's the big thing right now. Lee's got to do, he's got to get in that mirror and try to make some aggressive looking moves, try to get in the head of that leader and try to force a mistake.
That 19 car has some power down that front straightaway.
I'm wondering, I think Ray might have compromised Kraus just enough through that last section. Dunford seemed to be able to get a better run off that last turn, get that momentum and power down a little bit sooner than Kraus was.
That gap has gained, almost doubled.
Oh, it's well, almost over double, yeah. Kraus just warming those tires up a little bit too much and getting them a little greasy, trying to find every which way he can around this guy. Not to take away from our lead battle here in the closing laps, but take a look at third place. James Budd up 14 positions.
Holy cow.
And on for a podium finish here, just ahead of Dustin Buck. Bradley Stefane holding on. He's up 2 for the final of the top 5.
Great run by that number 8 machine.
No kidding, for starting as deep in the field as he did to make up the ground. He is almost 17 seconds behind our leader, but sitting comfortably in third right now. He just has to not make a mistake these final laps.
Sometimes that's a little easier said than done.
Well, he's definitely already had a difficult race, passing 14 cars to get to where he's at.
That is true. He definitely knows what it takes to get around this walk and run track.
Kraus definitely is more aggressive going through that bus stop than Brandon is, but
Well, he got loose on the exit though. That cost him dearly.
that's that aggression when you try to force. And the bus stop is a great place if you can maintain that speed through there, keep that flow. You stand to gain a lot of time, but it is risk versus reward. You get too aggressive through that bus stop, it is really easy to lose the car through it.
Oh yes. You just hit those rumble strips wrong and that car gets all kinds of loose on you. Down the front straightaway, Dunford is expanding that gap. Only 3 laps to go. Time's starting to run out for Kraus. Oh, something must have happened. Kraus now over a second and a half back. Did you get a chance to see what happened to Lee?
No, I missed what happened with Lee there.
I think he got loose, and I maybe even missed a shift. I'm not sure, but he is over a second and a half back now with only 3 laps left. Unfortunately, I think he might have cost him a chance at the battle for the lead there.
Absolutely, that's going to be a tough gap to close.
And with the way Dunford's running,
Slight issue going through turn 1. For some reason, that car just did not take off on the exit. Didn't look like he got loose or anything, but just did not carry the momentum through the corner that he normally has been the last few laps, and that looks like it's what it was that cost him the time. And now he's going around.
Completely around.
That's unfortunate. Up there battling hard for the win now. That all Brandon has to do is ride around. This win's in the bag for him.
Jump back on that 99 to see if we can see what exactly happened. Oh. He was hard on the brakes, locked him up, and that's what caused him to come around. He was sliding before he entered that corner.
Just driving very aggressively, trying to make up that time, and yeah, sometimes driving aggressively gets you over aggressive, and that's exactly what can happen. But looking back here at 5th and 4th, we might have a battle for 4th place. Stefane has caught Buck.
White flag is in the air too.
Brad using all of the runoff there coming out of the carousel, coming in the last couple of corners.
He is right on that bumper.
To that left-hander. See if Buck can make anything happen to hold that 89 car off.
They get a good run down the front straightaway as they take the white flag. Brad's been strong this year. I don't think he's won a race yet, but he has been close several times.
Well, that 89 car is usually pretty fast. Every race that I've taken part in with him, he's a very fast driver. Definitely knows how to get around a racetrack. Last half of the lap here coming through the bus stop for those two, and he is right there on the bumper, but he's got pretty much one last chance here coming through the carousel into the braking zone into that last left hand. Dunford taking the checkered flag 13 seconds ahead of Kraus.
A little bit of chatter just between the two of them, congratulating each other and talking about such a hard-fought race. And that's the type of stuff we like to see here in the RMRL.
Absolutely, and then you see James Budd pulling across the line in third, 14 places up from where he started. That's an impressive drive right there from that 8 car. And Buck holds off a hard charge from Stefan that last lap.
And the other Dunford finishes in 6th. Looks like Fox is coming to the line for 7th with Smith right on his back bumper, finishing 8th.
I'm thinking Smith and Fox have got a little thing going on there. Smith just swerved hard at him on the cool down. There might be a little bit of animosity between those two.
I kind of thought they were teammates.
Could have been a little bit of a how do you do between teammates too. You never know, but that 95 does have some damage on the right side.
Catch up with our leaders as they are going to pull around for their victory photo here. Kraus finally able to catch that 19 machine. We'll give these boys just a minute to line up, and then we'll get our top 3 drivers up here for their race interviews.
Some big old burnouts from that 19 machine right there. He is one happy man.
Oh, and he has earned every minute of it, too.
Well, that was a dominating drive from that 19 car. Only lost the lead when he went into pit. Cycled through, had a decent lead ahead of Lee Kraus, but Lee managed to close it in. Managed to hold on to take that W, though.
It was an impressive drive by Lee to regain those 2 seconds that he lost on during that cycle, but man, I think he just threw it in there too hard too many times, and it finally didn't want to hold.
Yeah, just driving really aggressive and overdriving the grip level of the car can turn around and bite you in a hurry, especially on a road course like this.
Well, it looks like we have our two of our top 3 drivers, so we'll go ahead and drag in our 3rd place finisher. All right, finishing 3rd, Mr. James Budd. What a drive of 14 positions. Now, you opted not to qualify. Was that strategic, or was it just a mistake?
Honestly, I thought I wouldn't be good enough to even compete here, so I just wanted to stay in the back and kind of stay out of people's way. But as I got some laps in, I was kind of getting my rhythm in, and I was getting better.
Well, you definitely didn't stay in the back, James. You passed almost everyone except a couple of cars ahead. Yeah, and honestly, on a track like this, that's really impressive.
Yeah, I don't even know where it came from. I'm surprised I was that quick. I haven't really done any racing at Watkins Glen before. I about 20 laps of practice before this, but yeah, super glad to get a top 3. That's above my goal.
When you did your pit cycle, did you go ahead and take 4 tires, or did you gamble and take 2?
I went for 4. I knew there would not be enough grip with 2. I figured I'd make a mistake and spin out, so I took all 4. I actually overdrove my pit box a little bit and had to back up, and I thought that'd be a lot more of a punishment than it really was, but yeah.
That number 8 car was strong. I mean, drove your way all the way to the front. I mean, it was hard to catch that 19 machine, but still an impressive run.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited. It feels like I just won a race because I haven't been able to get a good finish all season long here, and finally had something work out, so it feels really, really nice.
Now, do you paint your own cars? I do have to ask, because this probably is one of my favorite cars you've driven so far this year.
Yeah, I do. I do paint my own cars. I paint everything I run.
Well, good job. They always look good on track, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to give a shout out to Matthew Chandler, number 81. He did good. Not my teammate, but we're buddies, and he's still learning. He did a good job.
All right, well, thank you very much, and we will see you back next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, coming home in second tonight, that number 99 machine, Mr. Lee Kraus.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Man, you gave us something to watch and talk about all race long. You were fast. You were all over the back bumper of that 19 machine. He did pit before you. I think that was a little bit of a strategy that seemed to play in his favor because he did come out with a 2-second lead over you once we cycled through, but you ran him back down. You were all over that back bumper.
Yeah, just a culmination of too many mistakes. Um, I don't know, and then I pushed it too hard. I took the left rear out of the car, and I didn't really want to bite anymore. So, and then I played with my brakes a little bit with about 3 to go, and looped myself into turn 1 there. So, and that was kind of the end of it. But I don't know. It was fun. I had a great time chasing Brandon there. We were just talking about how I basically forced him to do almost a perfect race. So but that was a lot of fun. I had a great time with that one.
Oh, and you guys put on a great show. A lot of respectful driving back and forth. It looked like you did have a little bit of left front damage. Did you get into the wall at one point?
Yeah, coming off the last corner, I got on the throttle a little hard and it turned it sideways, and I overcorrected and stuffed it in the wall. So I had a little bit of tire damage and a little bit of body damage. It's only about 25 seconds when I pitted, so it wasn't too bad.
No, sir. And roughnecks on the hood, and that was pretty much how your race went tonight. You were giving that thing everything you had.
I tried, man. I tried. Definitely, it was like I said, just wanted to put on a show, and Brandon and I think we did a good job of that tonight.
Oh, for sure. Tom, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I was just going to say, like watching, especially that last half there around the pit stop and on there, you two were the only real battle on the track. So great to have a great battle from the lead. And Lee, it's great to have some northern representation as a fellow Canadian. Thanks for putting on that one heck of a battle. You made sure that 19 earned the win.
Oh, I did everything I could there for sure. Yep.
Well, congratulations on your 2nd place finish tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I got a new sponsor, Larry Fisher's Bait and Tackle. They do a great job down there. Just wanted to say thank to them. They'll take you in. If you've never been fishing before, they'll take you in. You could be a beginner guy putting bait on a hook, and they will teach you how to be a master. They'll even hold your hand while you're doing it. So, yeah, anyway. I gotta go.
Well, thank you very much, Lee. We look forward to seeing you next week.
No problem. Oh, and I signed you up, Mick. So you're going to be in their baiting program. I'm expecting you to be a master in no time. So
Awesome. I look forward to it.
all right, take it easy, boys.
Oh, that Lee Kraus.
Gotta have jokes, right?
Oh, for sure. All right, let's bring him in. The man of the hour. He drove the wheels off that 19 machine tonight, Mr. Brandon Dunford.
What's up, Mick?
Holy cow, buddy. What a race.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. I had to run a perfect one, though, with Lee Kraus back there, but I definitely got to thank him for running me pretty clean there. But
Oh,
yeah,
he
that was
kept you honest.
he did. He very much did. I even told him down there in the waiting booth that I had to run a damn near perfect race with him, staying right there on me the way he did.
Now, are you a big fan of road courses, or is this something new to you?
No, I love them. Matter of fact, Watkins Glen is my favorite road course. So coming out here to run this is, very familiar to me. I get around the track very well. Clearly, the biggest struggle was going to be to see if I could do it in this car. Obviously, this thing is just wicked loose the entire time you're driving. So I mean, at any point, I feel like you could just loop it in any corner in any braking zone, and then you add the shifting and everything else to it. So no, I love the road course racing for sure.
Well, there was a couple spots where it looked like you might have gotten loose, and Lee was able to gain on you ever so slightly, but there was never any big mistakes by you. That 19 tracker boat car was on fire tonight.
Yeah, I definitely had a couple little slip ups, and obviously that gets down to starting to become that tire wear as well. And I mean, this car, like I said, is just so wicked loose, and it has more horsepower to be able to spin those wheels coming out of them corners. So yeah, there was definitely some little slippage of the tires, and concern that later into the runs that I had, and that if the car would hold carry the same speed that I was had the whole race. So but hey, we parked it in victory lane, so that's all that matters, right?
Oh, for sure. And one of the things Tom and I were talking about, and actually it was right before it happened, was we've kind of theorized that one of Lee's chances to get in front of you would be to pit first, but you beat him to the punch on that one.
Yeah, the strategy coming in was, obviously I didn't know if I would get the pole, but I knew that if I did, that I wanted to beat, the second place into the pits, just because you can kind of have that upper hand. And when I did go in, and I knew that he didn't follow me, I was like, okay, we got a chance here to come back around and beat him and kind of try to gap it a little bit. And came out on cold tires and had two lap cars there to deal with there. So I didn't know how that was going to play out, if it was going to slow me up any. Obviously, with the colder tires, you have to run a little bit more conservative anyway. So it kind of helped out that they were there, so that I didn't overdrive the car. Um, and then when I seen that I gapped him by like a 2 second gap, I was like, okay, I can slack off a little bit to try to save a little bit more tire toward the end, because I knew that he had been right there on my bumper the entire time. So I wanted to have a little bit more tire than him at the end.
Well, and it definitely played off. He started making adjustments in the car, and unfortunately, it caused him to loop it with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, that was the biggest sigh of relief that I had. I mean, obviously, I didn't want to see it happen. I was enjoying the race. I mean, when you got a competitor like that that's just keeping you really honest like that, it does make it a whole lot more fun. Obviously, a lot more stressful as well. But um, it was a big sigh of relief that for the next 2 laps I could kind of just baby it around and and make sure I could still park it in victory lane.
Oh, for sure. Tom, what would you like to ask Mr. Dunford?
Well, honestly, Mick, I think you kind of covered all the bases there, but big congrats out to you, Brandon. That was a hell of a drive the entire race through. Like you said there, Lee kept you honest for a good portion of it, but man, that was some great strategy, some great drive, and you kept that 19 rock solid the entire way.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, when you come into these races, it's one of those things. You know that there's going to be good competition. I mean, the whole field's good competition. But you know that you're going to have those couple guys that are just they're gonna stay there with you, and you got to be mistake free. At least at least more than they are not. Don't make as many mistakes as they are at least. Um, so yeah, that was just to keep it between the ditches, as they would say, to bring it home. So, but so thankful for Lee, because he definitely had a couple chances that he could have did a little bump and run on me to get it. But he kept it clean, and I definitely appreciate him for that.
Yeah, that was great racing. You guys put on a heck of a show. So we go from 35 laps at a road course to next week we're 100 laps at Richmond Motor Speedway.
Yeah, slow the pace down, way down, right? Short track racing in these cars is quite fun. Probably not as fun as like say a Martinsville, but yeah, it's going to change a lot. I know that we've had some very clean racing in this league and in the races so far. So we want to continue that streak and go on to Richmond. I mean, you're probably going to still see some of those bump and runs, possibly, maybe especially toward the end. But for the most part, I think should be good short track racing.
Well, and you can honestly make a very close comparison to road course racing and short tracks. Maybe not so much Richmond. They do compare to a bit of a speedway as far as short tracks go, but the driving techniques aren't all that different going from road courses to short tracks. So maybe we'll see you back at the top 10.
Yeah, let's hope so. But yeah, to that point, yeah, there's a lot of braking, and obviously we see a lot of braking in the road courses. So, and that's typically what people get in trouble with is they kind of overshoot the corner just like they could here at a road course. So, yeah, I'm hoping so. That would be nice.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. An epic drive by the number 19 car tonight. The crew did their job on pit road. Who would you like to give a shout out to tonight before we cut you loose?
Man, I just want to thank everybody that puts this together. I know how much work goes into these things. I've admin these leagues, before. So just a huge shout out to y'all in the booth and Dean and everybody who just makes this happen. We got to be thankful for them first. And then since we don't really have teams this year, I do want to shout out Roy and Dylan for, being so-called a team and, given the strategies that we need to try to stay up front and win these races.
Where did Roy finish tonight? Oh, he finished in 11th. He was one of the drivers that opted not to qualify, but still had a decent run.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he said the beginning of the race that he wasn't sure how it was going to go. He wasn't too comfortable with it, so he didn't want to qualify. But still, still a good run for not qualifying.
For sure. Well, thank you very much, Brandon, and we look forward to seeing you back next week and to continue to see what you guys can do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mick. Tom, thank you.
Congratulations, Brandon, and look forward to hopefully seeing you up top again next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Tom. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here at All the Dirt. Thanks for joining me up in the booth and making this a fun race. And, man, what a race it was.
Oh, absolutely. I just wish that, I was one of the top 3 being interviewed, not sitting up here because my car's in the garage completely destroyed.
I can relate to that. We'll see how I can do tomorrow night on the Dirt Series. It looks like we're going to have some extra drivers maybe tomorrow night, and maybe we're going to dethrone that Hunter car.
Well, I know I threw $20 into that bounty pot there, and I know there's been talk about a couple of more bucks being thrown into that one, and there may be word that we might have a ringer coming in for this.
There might be something on the horizon. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that tomorrow night. So make sure everybody tunes in tomorrow night to watch Tom here and the Rusty Misfits All the Dirt rookie, maybe not so rookie, mini stocks tomorrow night over on the Rusty Misfits Racing League channel with Mr. Tom Queering.
Absolutely. Hope to see you guys there.